Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. We are different angle position, and I'm going to attempt to do the Show Us Your Decks Part 1 hashtag from Feeding My Soul 212. I've just put Angel Feeding My Soul. I'm sure you've got numbers after it, haven't you? You'll find it under Feeding My Soul anyway. The link will be down below as always. And this is the hashtag Show Us Your Decks Part 1. She's now, since this, done a Part 2. It's just taken me this long to get down into my room and clear some space so I can do this. So this is why you're filming this direction. You can see my cupboards, which is where I normally store my decks. So it would normally look like this. You can't see anything. I've moved the table out of the way. It's in front of me, blocking me from getting to the camera. So I do apologise if this isn't your cup of tea, but let's see what decks we've got to pull out of the cupboards. So prompt number 1. A deck you want to use, but it still hasn't made it to your reading table. Now, I'm doing this on all decks in my cupboard. I'm not going to limit this to just tarot or just oracle. And I know some channels have done one on tarot, one on oracle. I'm just going to mash them in so that we can pay tribute to this tag. So I do have a deck that I want to work with this year. I wanted to work with it last year, but work got very busy and I couldn't do it. This one is controversial, I will warn you. It's one I bought before I completely understood what AI meant. And I think it's this one. And I've bought the course to go with it, so I am going to give it my time. The cards, I love the artwork on these. It came with a bag, and it is called Between Worlds, Oracular Cards and Guidebook. I don't know if I've got my camera the right way around actually for this, so I apologise in advance if I haven't. Somebody recently commented on it asking how I'd got on with this, and it's got exactly what it says, different worlds inside, and it reminds me so much of the MJ Cullinan's Crow Tarot. Just pulling a few cards from within. I just really like the artwork. At the time that I saw it, look at this death card. Yeah, so I'm going to see how I get on with it, and I'm going to give it a try. Okay, liminality. I like the keywords, but it is its own complete system, as so many of my decks apparently are, and sit on my shelves waiting for me to give them their due diligence, time, and study. But I discovered I'm not. I'm going to jump in and use them rather than do the study course thing. Feel my way through, see where we go. So that's the first one, and I apologise if that's offensive to anyone, but that is one that I want to work with. That prompt number 2. Show the deck that is 12th from the right in your storage area. Now, I'm going to say because like everyone, you know, there's decks on the floor, there's decks in baskets, there's decks behind the camera, there's decks on the table, cupboards. So I'm going to go what is my very top right storage area, and I'm going to go from there, which is this cupboard. And if we're doing it correctly, it should really be the very far back corner. So let's have a look. This is 3 sets deep. Let me just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, okay. Didn't expect it to be that one. But it is. There's a lot crammed in there. Sorry for my backside shot. And this is the Lily White Tarot from Celia Melville. One that I like. Got these gorgeous backs, and it's a lovely watercolour deck from an independent creator. I do want the Lily Black version of this. I really, really would love the Lily Black version of this. And this is the same creator that did the Boo Tarot. So yeah, there's my 12th from the right, coming forwards from the far back. So hopefully you like that one. I've used that one recently, so it's had some playtime from me. And the screen's gone off because I've taken so long. You can hear Marjorie walking around as well, she's under the table. So number 3, a deck you were contemplating removing. I've got a few that I'm contemplating removing, and they are all here on this shelf, and they are from Total Tarot collection. So in the collection, I pulled out the ones that I have enjoyed using and would use again. So the collection got me to, the lovely information that was in the magazines, and I got to play with decks and see other decks that I don't want, or that I maybe wouldn't have otherwise purchased. I now know that I don't want or don't need, but I also got to collect the large size Golden Art Nouveau tarot deck as well. So it served a couple of purposes for me. So I'm going to keep the Tarot of the Angels. I like that one. Obviously, I'm going to keep the original Book of Thoth, Atelier version. The Medieval Tarot, because I really like that particular card. I love the stars in it. That one's really nice. Thelema Tarot, I'm going to keep. I think I've got in a bag somewhere else. I think I've got the Celtic Tarot. The Liberty Tarot. I think that's the only one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 6 decks out of the many that I collected. So there's lots that's going. The Tower of 78 Doors, I'm on the fence with that one. I haven't decided. So I probably won't be keeping the White Cats, the Draconia, the After Tarot, the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. New Visions, no, can't stand that. Mango, no. Runic Tarot, no, not for me. What else was there? Radiant Wise Spirit, I might keep that one. Tarot of the Elves, I might keep. There is one. There's a Fairy Tarot that I'm keeping. Don't know where that is. What have we got down there? The Harmonious Tarot, I think I'm going to get rid of now. The Marseille, the Pre-Raphaelite, Vice Versa, Arcanum, Illuminati. That artwork's just not for me, it makes me feel sick. I've got Visconti there because I've already got 2 or 3 of those. Before Tarot, and a couple more that I can't quite see from my backside stuck to my seat. So yeah, there are a few now that I don't want. And that will give me, when I get rid of them, that'll give me that shelf back, then I can get everything that's stuck on my table in there, and then I'm back to being tidy and feeling comfortable with my collection again. So, a deck you don't store in its original box, and why? If it comes with a box, it's in the box. I don't take it out of the box. I haven't destroyed any of my boxes. The only time I don't store things in the box is when I'm using one of my beautiful Libra Moon Inc. Serpent and Peacock suede bags. That one and that one. This one's softer because it's newer. Older than this one. This one I got end of last year. I think that one came with the Tower of Paul's Moon. Or was it the Medieval Beasts? One of those two. And this one I got when I ordered the art edition of the Serpent and Peacock up there. I got this one. And so when I'm doing my daily pulls, I will sometimes take my deck out of its box and pop it into this, and then just wrap it up and keep it on my desk. And then that obviously the deck changes, it goes into these, because then weirdly I feel like this is what's carrying my energy, not the deck. My little quirk there. What do you do with yours? Right, a deck. 78 cards. More or less than 78 cards. More or less than 78 cards. All right, that's over here. Yes, it's in this box. I wasn't kidding when I said I got stuff everywhere. Oh, I've been looking for that. The Earth Angels box. I wouldn't have thrown it away. I knew I wouldn't have thrown it away, but I can never remember the name of that deck when I want to. So the Dixit cards are what I have pulled. They are 84 cards per box. and I bought 2 boxes with the idea that I would be turning them into my own tarot deck. So I have the Revelations Dixit, so there is a video on my channel with these, and I have the Daydreams Dixit. What I can't tell you is what all the cards are in there right now and what these are. I know I started, so this is probably where I started trying to put a deck together. So originally I laid all these out on a table and just stacked them up. So the idea of these are that you can tell stories with them through picture images. So I remember stacking them all up on the desk to see what cards felt similar in imagery or depiction, and what I might then label them as. So I tried to get a pile of 78 cards, some with more than a couple of pictures on and some with less than. And then I was going to go back and sort them all out. But of course, now that I'm looking at these, because it was so long ago, I did come back to it and lay them out probably 2 years ago and start again. I don't actually know where I got to with them. But these you can just tell stories with. So in the box you have a card that maybe tells the same story in different pictures, different ways. So that's why there's, perhaps more than a couple of ways of telling a story. So it's always nice to run through and see. And then go with your intuition. I know a couple of readers that just use these as pure storytelling cards, but treat them as oracle decks, and give you, some very, very profound, deep readings from using them as oracle. But I think that's because they're just very gifted, mediumistic, psychic readers, personally. Because there has to be an element of that there, doesn't there, to be able to read with them. So that one can go back over there, put that one away. Okay, and then where are we at? I'll just make sure my chair's back under my bottom. A deck with a cloud on the box. The Jack-o'-lantern tarot. There you go, there's my clouds. This is why I don't need the pre-Raphaelite tarot anymore. Well, I never needed the pre-Raphaelite tarot, to be honest, because I've always had this deck first. But I was curious to get the pre-Raphaelite tarot. Now that I've had it from the collection, I know that I don't need to keep it anymore, because this one does exactly the same thing. I don't feel this is just a one-season deck. I think this one, because of the clever way the artwork is done, and it's in such the style of the pre-Raphaelite tarot, because you can see the backgrounds and everything is virtually identical. They've just lifted the pictures off the front, it feels like, and changed them. I feel like this one will do exactly the same thing. It can be an all year round deck for any type of reading. It just happens to have pumpkins in it. So, and these are the backs. And of course this is Lo Scarabeo. Lo Scarabeo is a big part of my collection. Generally, I seem to quite like their decks. I know they do come in tuck boxes, but I do quite like some of their artwork. So, yeah, I think there's a number of Lo Scarabeos that hide up on the top shelf that I got prior to. So I already had a large collection prior to the Total Tarot collection coming out. That one on there. A deck you have never shown on your channel. I don't know. Even if I haven't got walkthroughs on my channel, you've probably seen them all via my monthly journals, I think. I'm pretty sure everything I own has been on a monthly journal at one point or another. Oh, this is quite a common shelf. Here's my less common shelf. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything I own has been shown. not used necessarily, but shown, including the Shakespeare Tarot. So maybe that's one I haven't properly shown the cards of, but I know I've mentioned it because I purchased it. We'll sit there then, we'll leave it there. A deck with another animal on, other than a lion, on the strength card. Where is that box? Oh, right in front of me. Right in front of me. I could pick any, so I've picked the Hush Tarot. Of course, though, Magician, Devil, Lovers. Of course, I haven't prepared and got you the strength card out. There we go. So it's got a bat and lots of bees on it. I just knew it wasn't going to have a line on it. So there you go. There's my strength card with an animal other than a lion. And this is from the Hush Tarot. So this is quite a pretty deck. Maybe macabre to some, but I think quite beautiful in its artwork. Reminds me a little bit, I think it would go nicely with the decks from the artist Naomi Cornick. They would probably pair nicely with this one, like maybe the was her mass market one, Call of the Morgan. Is it the Old Ways Oracle from her shop? I feel like this one will be a good one for that. I use this one, I've said many times, it's tried and tested. This is a shadow work deck for me if I really can't get to the root of something, and it's very easy to read the surface layer with normal tarot for me. Then I can pull this one. It's a very deep self-question I want an answer to. Okay. A deck with a cloud on the box. What was I thinking? I've done that one, haven't I? Yeah, a deck with a cloud on the box. I actually wrote the Gothic Tarot. I don't know, the Gothic Literature Tarot. There is no cloud on the box, I can confirm. I can confirm. A deck in a box, inside a box, i.e. soul cards, because we all know soul cards comes inside a box in a box and has a box. However, I have gone with the Candle in a Cave. So this is the tuck box that the cards come in, and it comes inside this box with a guidebook. And it's got this beautiful brown floral pattern in there. It comes with a really nice guidebook, which, as you can see, I put away while I'm working with the deck. It's very pretty. This is the artwork by the Estonian artist Annette Press. Is it? Annette Presso. So I like this one. And the cards, again, really beautiful. That's the backs. It's this kind of matte black / super chocolate brown colour cardstock, but it does pick up grease and things on your hands and hand cream, so you have to be very careful with this if you don't like fingerprints on your deck. But I just adore the art style, absolutely adore the art style. It's got that kind of semi-rose petal-esque quality to it, so it can clump a little bit if you're not careful. So that's my deck in a box. And that was prompt number 9. Number 10, a deck that would not appear in a top 10 video. I have such a large collection, that's most of my collection, just for the sake of naming a deck, not because I'm shaming it. And when I say it wouldn't appear in my top 10, that means it would appear somewhere very close to my top 10. I am going with one up here. I'm sorry. It's the Dame Darcy Alice Tarot, Queen Alice Tarot. I do love this deck. The box, these boxes are beautiful. I prefer the cardstock. I was going to say art stock on this deck to the Mermaid Tarot, because that one's matte and they clump when I'm trying to shuffle. This one glides beautifully. I love this. So this one doesn't ever quite make it into my top 10, but it does make it through my collection a lot. It's so probably this time of year, really, very May-like. I've had Alice in Wonderland parties for my birthday in May, so I do feel that this resembles this time of year for me, because it's June at the time of me doing this. We haven't quite reached the solstice yet. So yeah, this one, beautiful artwork. Highly recommend it if you like Alice in Wonderland, especially. That's a really good deck to play with. If I don't put stuff away, it won't go away. Right. Next, sorry, my pad's down here, so I'm aware that you just get to see my grey hair, side of my face and my big nose. A deck you associate with colour green. I left that blank, I really couldn't think, and then somebody showed, or a couple of people showed 2 decks I do have in my collection. I was like, oh, why didn't I think of those? One that I was umming and ahhing about was maybe The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. It's only the backs that are green. Yeah, green. The fronts are more, to me, they feel more blues. So took that one off my plate. And one I saw somebody show was the Healing Spirits, because the box is green. Can get into it. And although it's purple inside, it also has like sort of earth colours to the back. So earth colours to me, you can see the green / blues. And then the actual, I think I edged mine in purple. I think I edged it. I don't think it came like that. But there is a lot of green in the deck. So I feel like the deck itself holds more green than blue. But also, actually, when you look at them like this, an awful lot of purple. Which bring in the spiritual nature of it. I think this one, yeah, it's a fairly green sort of deck. And the other one that I saw somebody show, and as I say, I haven't, where is it? I think it's in here. There it is. Enchanted Forest. So I've edged mine, got these beautiful green backs, and then the cards have that sort of nature feel about them. And a very green-esque sort of feel to them. Being in the forest, you would expect that, wouldn't you? That nature feel. So that is the other green deck. I did see somebody else, have I said it already? I can't remember. I did see another person pull William Blake. And I know the box art's very green. I can't remember because I haven't pulled the deck out to work with this year, I don't think. I think I had it before Christmas. I worked with it last. So I couldn't think of it off the top of my head and what's in it. Back on my shelf. Next up is, get such an itchy nose today, a second-hand, pre-loved or thrifted deck. Haven't got them here, but in my April wrap-up journal video, I believe it's in that one, or is it a video on its own right, other people's trash, and treasures. I have a couple of decks that were given to me from my partner's family member that passed away, and so those would be my pre-loved secondhand decks that I'm thinking of at this point in time for the prompt. So one is an RWS that I'll never use, but it's the point is, I think one was the Cosmic Tarot, that old, is it M.G. Muller? Was that the deck creator? I think it's that one. And I have the Witch's Tarot, like a really old Witch's Tarot. I have an old Marseille kit. And there's another one in there, another one. It's the original version. It's got a second one out anyway. They're all in there. So those are my pre-loved decks that you can go see. A deck in my collection with the most used guidebook. One. Right. Oh, okay, not too far away. See, I've got to spread out. That's this one. Everyday Witch. Not because I've written in it, but it's been tabbed. And this one is because this was one of the decks early on my journey. Can't remember which order my decks came in. I used to be able to remember, but as time's gone on, when there's so many in your collection, they disappear. So we had the Deviant Moon. I'm Little White Book and my own notes made that deck. That's how I learned to read tarot. I can't remember if I ordered this one and I was working with this one, but I know I also ordered the Lightseers Tarot and the one by Taroteka Studios, the Haunted Mansion or the Dark Mansion. Those two were ordered, and then this one. So I can't remember if this one came in between like those two arriving, or if this one came after those two. I just can't remember which way round this one arrived in, but so therefore this one became the deck that I used to read for people. It's the first deck I used for reading for people, and this became like the book that I delved into to learn to read tarot properly for other people, as you do. So that became my most used guidebook. Of course, nowadays, no, I don't use the guidebook. But it was nice to use. It just helped broaden the mind. The cards in this deck are fantastic. Take away the word witches and the hats. Just use that as a little bit of whimsy and a bit of fantasy and fairy tale. But the actual cards do spread your mind into looking at the cards in a different way. So that's what I loved about this, especially I think it's like the Temperance card was one of the ones. And the Judgment card gave me completely new expansion on what those cards can mean. A deck with water on the box. Deck with water on the box, which I don't have in front of me. I can think of one. Let me just see if that one's got two. We'll take this one. The first one was the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy, but that's actually in the other room where I've been doing my Fae practice with Astaria Sen. So I can't go get that one, I can't be bothered. But we can have this one, because as you see, there's a little ship sailing away on the waters there. And this is the Book of Shadows, the Alchemist story from Andrea Asti. Love this deck as well. All the decks in my collection, pretty much I do love. Cherish them. That's the backs. It's very glossy. Beautiful, brightly coloured fronts. I like this one a lot. So you can get these from Andrea's website direct. This is the same creator that did the Ghastly Lenormand deck. So they are coffins. So yeah, so do check out Andrea. He does some really exciting, I think really cool, bright, vibrant, funky decks. And I do also have the Lost Codex Tarot, which is one that is meant to go before this one that created the story that goes with this one. So he's another great mind with fantastic stories and artwork and creation, a bit like Patrick Lenzer, creates his own worlds and stuff. And then you get taken along on the ride and the journey and delve into them to unlock and uncover the secret keys to what you need to do to read your own life. A deck with your most favourite card ever. I don't know anymore if I have a favourite card ever. I tried to think about this. And it's hard because I've got so many decks and I don't know anymore if I just have a single favourite card. I might have, when I'm working with a deck, this set of cards in this deck are my favourite in this deck. And then over here in this deck, these cards are my favourite, but there's not always a middleman in between the decks because they're also wonderfully diverse amongst themselves. But I mean, this deck, as you know, I learned to read with it. I absolutely adore it. So what would this one reminds me of Mr. Bean, so it's one of my favourite. I just think it's so funny. So it's one of my favourites. That's the Nine of Pentacles. I think it's so cool. And I do really enjoy this one when it's in the paradoxical version of the Deviant Moon. This one as well, the Six of Wands is also a great image, which as many of you know is on the book, which I don't have down here. That's upstairs on my shelf. Which other one? Let me just find. So one is the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, that moon is, I do love the moon. The strings for the puppets being controlled by the moon, that hidden aspect of the moon there. Ace of Pentacles, look at this. So cool, dragon. Beautiful, beautiful card. And the Six of Swords, love that one in this deck. And the Ace of Wands is also knockout favourite, unusually for me, because it's got a kid in it. Yeah, I think that's all of my favourites in this particular deck, like the top favourites in this deck. I don't know if anyone else has a favourite in this one. It'd be nice to hear. Let me know down below, comments down below. We've been going for half an hour, so I think that's a long enough tag for me. Until the next one, I wish you all much love and luck. Take care. Bye-bye.